ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Ladies, you'll end up shopping for your guy's deodorant, right? So try Degree's Original Cool Rush. You see, last year, Degree changed the formula, and men were mad. One guy even started a petition. So Degree admitted they messed up and brought the Original Cool Rush scent back. It's clean, crisp, and actually smells like someone you want to cuddle. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So toss one in your cart and find out why it's the best-selling men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes.
Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Don't Blame Me.
Your favorite wonderful advice podcast where we change your life. We look good doing it. You watch us on Patreon. And you just tell us how amazing and wonderful we are. In return, we are honest with you if you're fucking up your life.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to be honest, this episode's a little darker than what we usually have.
Yes. And I, especially after the 1-2 punch we had last week, I think it's important for us to note that if you're looking for a hee ha ha, can't believe these cousins are fucking. I was talking to someone who I haven't talked to in a while yesterday. And they were like, oh yeah, are you doing that podcast? And I was like, oh yeah. And they're like, oh, I'll have to check it out. And I was like, and they have kids. And I was like, just for the record, make sure
they're
not around. Because these are school age kids.
Yeah,
this is carpool kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, there was a cousin fucking one. And he was like, noted, good call. I'm pretty sure my son listens to some crazy shit, but I don't want to be responsible for adding any more.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect. So, you've just know that going into it. So that's what today's episode is a little more.
Yeah. How do you participate?
Wow, there's a lot of ways. Thank you for asking. You can call, leave a voicemail at 310-694-0976. You can send us an email at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. You can also fill out the form. We post that on our Instagram story. That is also listed in the show notes. Or you can write, just type it out all in a DM on Instagram as well. For all the written ones, keep it under 300 words. For the audio ones, keep it under 3 minutes. You can also send an audio message to that same email address if you would like, if you're international, or you're just like, I don't feel like recording a voicemail, but I would like my voice to be heard. I understand. I love hearing the sound of my own voice. Sorry. Just elbowed that. You can check that out on the Patreon. But give us as much information as possible in all of those means. We do need to know how old you are. It is a requirement that you are over 18, but we actually need to know the specific age because it does determine the advice that we give. If you are 22 versus 42, we literally had one of those last episode where I was like, my advice is drastically different because you are older.
Yeah.
So that is what we got to know. And it is all anonymous. So you can don't include names. You can include pronouns. But create some fake names. Have fun with it. Get literary. Get fictional.
So when you fill out the form, please look at the top. It says, don't blame me or but am I wrong? And then also within the form, it asks if you're in a don't blame me form, then it says are you asking for advice? Are you saying don't blame them? If you're in but am I wrong, it says, are you asking if I'm wrong? Are you giving us an update? Those type of things. So there are clues within the form if you realize later as you're filling it out that you're in the wrong form. So if you're asking for advice, that's don't blame me. If you're asking if you're wrong and you specifically say, am I wrong? in your
Mhm.
thing, that is, but am I wrong?
Yeah. And we would love if you realize that before. If you fill out the wrong form, just immediately fill out the second form right
Mhm.
afterwards. So when we're formatting it, we can just be like, oh, they sent this twice. This is clearly it ends in, but am I wrong?
Yes.
So ideally, you fill out the right one. Sometimes it happens. You don't fill out the next one immediately.
Mm-hmm. And you get an email after that also says you've completed the form, and it tells you what form it was.
Yeah.
So
because we do our best to transfer the over, but sometimes like things can get lost and then we haven't answered all of that stuff. So, and it also helps us make sure that we can format the episode in the best way possible. So like some episodes aren't too heavy and like, it's a good mix of things, which was what you all wanted, which we love that advice. Okay.
All right. Should we get into our first one?
I think we shall.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa and other listeners. I've been seeing this guy for about 5 months now. We're both in our late 20s. Over the past couple months, I've caught him in quite a few lies, white lies. First time he swore he wasn't high, but I knew he was. I was going to let it slide, just trust him. But my friends were there too and were like, he's definitely high. I called him out and he denied it. That really got to me. It's not even about the weed itself. I just want a heads up, It's not really my thing, but whatever, his life. It's the lying that pissed me off. We talked it out and I told him I wasn't comfortable with it because my ex was high all the time. Then the other day, he leaves my place because he's tired and texts me he's home safe and sound. Except my friend saw him smoking at a random house party. When she told me the address, I was like, that's his place. So I texted him and asked him why he said he was tired but left and threw a party without inviting me. He said his roommate threw it and didn't know it was happening, except my friend said she was invited to it a few days ago. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this is a red flag situation. Like, is this something I should be more worried about? I just hate feeling like I can't trust him. What do you guys think?
The last one doesn't seem like a totally far off possibility
No.
for me at all. Like, especially because like you were hanging out with him and then he like left to that. Like, unless like he invited your friend.
Right. Which
then,
I don't think,
no,
it doesn't seem like that happens.
So like, I mean, in general, like guys are like, especially guy fucking roommates are like really weird about being like, yeah, I just invited people over. It's like, what the fuck? That would piss me off as a roommate.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that to me is a red flag. I would ask yourself, sounds like you don't want to date someone who smokes weed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like weed is a deal breaker for you. So if like you don't want to be with somebody that smokes weed, don't be with somebody that smokes weed.
Yeah, it seems like that is like the through line. Because at first when you said high, I'm like, it really depends on what we're talking about.
Because it could be he had smoked, but he wasn't high.
Or what you're high on.
Yes.
Like for me, I'm like, if you're high on weed, if you're on pills, like I'm like, I there's another level there that I'm more worried about. But part of that for me is also like, because I have dated guys who did hard drugs. And that was something that like I didn't realize until like later, and I was put in unsafe situations. So like I can recognize that like that is a deal breaker for me also because of my past. For you, it sounds like weed is a deal breaker for you because you had an ex like that. So like it does bring up those old feelings. You don't have to date someone who like smokes weed. Like I don't like, there are certain people who I find incredibly annoying when they're high. There are other people that like, it truly doesn't like affect me at all. But if someone is like acting like high all the time, I'm like, I just don't know that we're going to we're going to vibe very well, because like in order to like really, I think as an adult, really enjoy someone else like being high, you kind of have to be high. So I think like if this just isn't your vibe, I don't think it makes you like a hard ass. I don't think it makes you like boring or what did someone referred to Janine as something like like not like a party pooper, but like something along the lines of being like, not like cool.
But Janine does smoke weed.
No, yeah, and this was before that. And I was like, oh my God, we find out. And she's sitting in her head being, you guys don't even know, smoking the weed. So like, I don't think it makes you like boring. And I also don't think it makes you uptight. But I think that like you are going to become incredibly tightly wound if you do not acknowledge that this is a boundary for you, because it's also it's a very acceptable boundary for you to have, but it's also like not a boundary that everybody has.
Yeah.
It's not like a given that it's like, well, if he wants to date anybody, he's going to have to kick the PCP habit, because it's not PCP, it's weed. Like this is like totally fine for a lot of people. That doesn't mean it needs to be fine for you, but it does mean that like I just don't think you're compatible.
Yeah. Like I'm fine with somebody having weed. I do not like the smell of weed. I've realized recently that I hate the smell of it. You can, if you're doing a gummy or something, cool.
Yeah.
But I do not want to be with somebody that smells like weed all the time.
That's fair. First time I smelled weed, I was like, that sounds like my childhood. And I was with one of my friends who like, we grew up together. We both just like looked at each other across the room being like, it's all coming together in our head.
They were high all the time.
I wouldn't recommend doing that, you know, if you're raising young children. And actually, I mean, they turned out fine. It was mostly me. Those my friends, their parents were fine. So yeah, this is a fine deal breaker to have. Don't let anyone like talk you out of being like, no, like you don't have to accept this. There are people out there who like also don't smoke weed, but he also doesn't have to accept not smoking weed, because there are other people out there who he could date who do smoke weed or are cool with smoking weed.
Right.
This is just me. It's like very cut and dry. Like you are not compatible, and I don't know how much of your friend, like how much of your friends are also in long-term relationships. I will say your friend texting you being like, hey, he's here and he's like smoking. That's how I know that the smoking's a big issue for you, is that your friends are letting you know. So, yeah, I think like cut your losses. Also, there's a lot of people in their late 20s who like only smoke to like go to sleep. You don't have to be with someone who's like just high. Also, can you imagine being high and then like your girlfriend is like, are you high? And all her friends like, you're definitely high. And he's just like, I have to commit and say I'm not high when he's so visibly high. Such a high thing to do. Such a high thing to do. Like, I'm not high.
There dipping hot Cheetos in ranch sauce.
Yeah, his eyes are just closed and red. And it's just like, I will say that's one of the things that frustrates me, is like lying to me when it's like, I would actually have to be so stupid to believe, for you to think that I'm believing this. And I do find that insulting. But yeah, this is just not your guy.
All right.
Next. Hey, Eminem, longtime listener, first-time caller. I, 27, have a friend, Stephanie, 30, whom I would like some advice about. Trigger warning about infant loss. She and I were very close and inseparable before we graduated from our respective fields. She moved out of town for work and a new partner, and I became very busy with my job. As a result, we fell out of touch a bit. This was about 6 or 7 years ago. She moved back after the relationship ended, but we weren't as close when she returned, partly due to the events unfolding in our lives and the start of the pandemic. We've kept in touch, but not consistently. She has since gotten married and they started a family. They unfortunately lost their first child at birth. I reach out often, checking in and letting them know that I was there for them. I would sometimes receive a response, but other times not. I wasn't expecting anything from her, just wanted her to know that I was thinking of them during their grief. They recently had a healthy and safe delivery of a second child. I work in the jewelry industry and would like to create a necklace to honor both children. I do not wish to affect her family's grief and healing. What do you think I should do? Should I reach out to her husband to see if this is something she's interested in receiving? Or should I hold off on this and invite her out for coffee before taking this step? I would appreciate any advice on how to move forward. I want to ensure whatever I do is respectful of Stephanie's family and their healing process. Thank you. Do not do anything without talking to her.
Yeah.
Without 100%. A doubt.
Because one, what if it's ugly? But two, and I'm sure you have great skills as a jeweler. But
like what if she has ugly taste too?
Yes. What if she has ugly taste and likes ugly stuff?
Yeah. And you make cute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility. Some people like ugly shit.
Right. Also send me. There's a lot of like big things that a lot of people like that are very ugly.
Oh yeah.
Van Cleef. But
fucking Kendra Scott. That's what it looks like. I was like, there's no way you guys are paying for this.
Yeah. But I love jewelry. So send it to us. Send it to me so I can see. But this is something that's very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you need to have a conversation with her, not her husband, because husbands don't know.
No.
Have a conversation with her. Wait till you can be together in person. Talk to her. And I think in person is better.
Yeah, because I think in general, like...
I don't want something out of the blue.
No.
We need to have a conversation. And this is something you lead up to in conversation.
Totally. And I think like grief is very hard because depending on... Like for a lot of people who... like a loved one of theirs who like lived a like long life and was like a big part of their life. My friends who have like lost people like that in their lives, like they like when people ask about them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a big difference losing someone who you loved so deeply who you didn't get to spend a lot of time with because you don't have answers to like a lot of questions about being like, oh, like tell me what their favorite color was. Like, oh, tell me like, what do you do? Like, what was your favorite memory together? Like it's unfortunately, there is not like a mutual, not to be like woo woo, but like earthside relationship with this person that you have a lot of like those answers to kind of have that connection there. So I think I would say if she has social media, if she has the name of the child that she lost in her bio, along with like the kid that she has that is here right now, I think that is a safe sign that you can bring up, being like, hey, I wanted to let you know this. If she does not talk about it on like anything publicly like that or whatever, you are not a stranger, but this, I think, like, if someone talks about something one time, posts about it, story, something, whatever, but they don't have it like reoccurring as something they talk about, I don't think it's something appropriate to like bring up immediately. I think it's something that like you should wait for them to bring it up because they brought it up one time when they're comfortable talking about it. If they haven't brought it up, I don't think you should bring it up. But I think I would gauge in that way to see. And then I don't know that I would bring it up at the coffee date. I might bring it up afterwards and just send a link and being like, hey, thought about what we were talking about. I make jewelry, if anything like this. Let me know if you'd ever be interested in. The offer is indefinitely stands. Because like she might be interested in it in like a year from now, but she might be able to be like, hey, I know I'm like not ready for this because like a lot of people who have like lost pregnancies or like lost kids like very, very young, those feelings come back up again in like a different way when they have a kid again. So I think like, not having it be like a big decision because also like, I don't know how much it is or whatever. And if you're covering the cost, but like, if she suddenly decides that she's like, I actually can't, I don't feel comfortable wearing this, is she going to feel guilty about that? So I just think it is a nice gesture. I do think the risks kind of outweigh the rewards in this. So I would like really take it like really fucking slow.
Yeah. And also like, I know a lot of jewelry places have like keepsakes and things. Is there something that it's something she wouldn't necessarily wear, but it could be a little trinket or something that she could have in her home?
Yeah. And maybe not something that like has both of the names there. Cause if someone like a stranger asks like, oh, tell me about your like something that like, also, I don't know if a lot of times parents don't want to attach previously lost pregnancy or child to a child who is here. So like might not want it to be a combo thing. Maybe wants to have like a piece of jewelry that has like both of their names, but on two separate pieces, or one has a name and one has something representative, like a flower of like the month or anything. Yeah. So yeah.
Conversation and see exactly what she wants. Don't guess and make sure she's comfortable before you do it.
Yeah, totally. And I think if you like go the whole thing, the whole coffee and like it just like doesn't come up.
Don't force it.
Don't force it at all. Because this isn't in, she's always going to be someone who lost her child. Like there's not like a time frame in which like you have to kind of like get this done. She will always be grieving her child. And I think it's just about like when is it appropriate to offer something that's like representative of her love for her child. And love and grief exist hand in hand, but it's a delicate dance of that, especially as like a third party. So I think it's a very kind gesture, but it's about her receiving it as a kind gesture.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into some more.
Woohoo! Thank you to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what spring is all about.
That's my favorite thing about spring. All three of those.
HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats.
Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce, and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. Flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when you need.
I have to be honest with you. We've worked with HelloFresh before. I have gotten many
years.
Truly, and I've gotten countless HelloFresh boxes. This might be the menu that I have been like the most excited for. Like, I cannot wait. I am getting the Mushu pork lettuce wraps. Oh, hello, yes. And then I guess I'm in a porky mood. Pork chops with a zesty green onion salsa. Never had, like, love that. These are things that, like, I would never think to cook myself. And also, like, I don't know, pre-portioned, so easy and so delicious. I cannot wait to try everything.
Yeah, I'm getting the cheesy smothered mushroom chicken, which mushrooms and chicken are two of my favorite things.
And I love them together.
I do too. I've been actually using a HelloFresh recipe in my rotation for years. I'm also getting the balsamic glazed steak, which I can't wait.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love steak. And I feel like steak is like one of the pillars of warmer weather.
It is. It's very springy.
It is. It is. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/BlameMe10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. We've talked about OneSkin before. Did you know your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called, what are they called, Melissa?
Zombie cells.
These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin.
Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take our word for it, though. They've got over 4,000 5-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products.
But if you want to take our word for it, know that we love them. We are using them constantly. The OS1, like the way it goes on, so easy, so simple. You notice a huge difference with them, and your skin looks great.
Yeah, I have become a fan of the Rich Eye Cream because it's like thick, but it's lightweight, and I can just easily use it as part of my routine.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started with 15% off using code BLAMEME at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
All right, we're back. All right, here's the next one. And I want to give a content warning for abortion. This person is 25, she, her. Been with my boyfriend for 6 years. We live together, want to get married, but don't want kids ever. I just found out I'm pregnant and I'm getting an abortion soon. He's super supportive, but he's currently the only person who knows. My best friend is married to his best friend, and none of my friends are local, and I don't really know how to text about it. I feel a lot more embarrassment than I thought I would. He's also uncomfortable with our friends knowing before the abortion happens because he has OCD and he's worried it'll jinx it or something will go wrong. He would respect my choice if I did say, but he'd struggle with it. I'm feeling really lonely. A, how do I navigate the shame and the loneliness? B, how do I balance what my boyfriend needs with my desires to tell my best friend? see, how do I even bring this up over text?
Tell your best friend, and your boyfriend doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very, it's not simple, but I think for you, for your own mental health,
you don't need to factor him in.
Yes, you have to, this is your decision.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, and it is a decision you'll make together, but it is ultimately your decision. But you have to also put your mental health first, because this is happening physically to your body,
Mm-hmm.
and you need someone to talk to. Yeah. And if he is the only person that you're able to talk to and he's not understanding it the way you need him to, you are free to talk to somebody else.
Yeah. Also, accommodating other people's OCD is not helpful for OCD whatsoever. Like, participating in those, like, what if this, then this, if this, then this, and that, I forget what it's called, but like, I think black and white thinking, and there's a couple of other like terminologies for OCD. Participating in that and validating that is like incredibly unhelpful. Like, that's, and so I want you to like take a step back from being like, oh, I'm invalidating his mental health struggles for my physical health struggle, which also your physical health is completely tied to your mental health. No, because that's participating in that side of OCD is like, there is no clinician who is going to be like, yeah, you should do that. The whole thing is like, okay, and if it happens, then it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you have to talk to your friend. And I will say, I understand that you are like, how do I bring it up over text? I wouldn't be put off at all if I had a friend being like, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm getting an abortion. Like, I
need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
There is like no way that someone could tell me that information that I would go, they should have phrased that differently or anything like that. And I think like this is the shame part of your brain talking, is that like you're not wanting to put this on other people. You can't put it on other people because this is what's happening with your life and you. And you're not putting that on anyone else. You are letting people in who, I promise you, desperately want to be let in.
Yeah.
They want to know about this. They want to know that you're going through this. They want to be there for you. And as like like when my friends like reach out with like, hey, I'm really going through something, I'm like, thank you for reaching out, because my God, if I found out 6 months from now after you had finished going through this thing that you went through this and
I could have helped you.
Yeah. And like you didn't tell me, like, I'm like, well, how have I failed as a friend that made you feel like you couldn't come to me and talk to me? I'm also like, you don't even have to do it over text. You can like literally call your best friend or text me like, hey, I have something to talk to you about. And like, can I just call you? And I've had people deliver news that way. I've delivered news to people that way. And like, even if you just like start sobbing and your friend is just there on FaceTime or being like, hey, I'm going to drive over and I'm going to come see you. That's what you need. And you can also tell your friend and be like, hey, I just want us to keep it between us. Would you not tell your boyfriend? And I think that's also a very fair fucking ask that I would adhere to. For
me, like when I need to or want to tell somebody something that I'm still not quite comfortable, I haven't needed to do this in a long time, but like when I did, I would be like, hey, can I come over? And for me, like lying in somebody else's bed, getting comfortable, like, and just waiting until I'm able to speak the words it was easier for me.
Yeah, because you're there in the presence with someone. You can feel how much they care about you. They're not pushing you to do that. And you're just like,
and they know something's wrong.
Yes. And so like they're waiting for you to say something, but like they're giving you the time to say something. And like you've removed yourself from the situation, like from whether you're alone where you are or like if it's a stressful place where you are, and like your body can decompress and then you can be like, okay, I'll tell you here now. So I think that like there's like no right way to do this. There's also no wrong way to tell your friend at all. And I think your boyfriend's OCD is like obviously without a doubt not his fault, but I do think that the wanting to keep it quiet and that for his OCD, that is not a rational thought to you, because you do not, I don't know if you even have you certainly do not experience OCD if you had it in the same way that he does. So it is so natural for you to take that OCD thinking that he's having and reflect that back onto yourself as shame of not telling people. And it's not that for him, and he might not be able to control that and not be able to like tell, like, and talk you down from that. Also, you know, we all experience our own things, but it is not your responsibility to adhere to that like level of black and white or like fated kind of thinking in that way. And he doesn't need to know. And if he knows and he starts spiraling, tell your friend, hey, can I come crash here? And then she can kick her boyfriend out and says, you'll stay with him. She'll stay here with me.
Yeah.
Like,
you help the boyfriend's friend can help him. and you need your friend, so then she can be there for you.
Yeah. And I think if your boyfriend then starts leaning on you and you've told your friend, hey, please don't tell your boyfriend, I think you say, tell your boyfriend now. I need him to take care of him, and I need you to help take care of me.
Yeah.
Because if he can't take care of you in this moment, if this is about him, regardless if it's a mental health issue or whatever, someone else can take care of him, and it's not you at all. So the loneliness is one of those things that, like, I think loneliness and shame go together. So they're so intertwined, because part of the reason why we stay in loneliness is because we're feeling shame to, like, not reach out. And yeah, just know that, like, two people sitting here, and I promise you, like, our entire audience would want a friend to reach out when they're going through this, in the same way that you would want your friend to reach out to you if they were going through it.
And you're reaching out to us because you need support.
Yeah.
And so reach out to your in-person friend.
Yeah. And this is something that, like, you don't need to feel like the shame and the loneliness of this. But I think the longer you are isolated and just you and your boyfriend's like not giving you any of it. So like, I think that, like, you need to call someone else in. You need to get some other people in. And
I'm sure since your best friends are together, then they both would want to be there for you at the same time. I understand him, like, not like he thinks something will go wrong. I get that. But medically, that's very low possibility.
And if you're in a place where you are able to get an abortion and you don't have a complete full abortion, they will do they'll do something else afterwards. Like, this is, like, he's not rooted in rational or statistical factual thinking. And I think I know that he doesn't want his best friend to know, but I think like having that responsibility of him being able to talk about his stress with it to someone besides you would be really good.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for reaching out. And I know your friend is going to be really happy you reached out to them.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into more.
If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks, from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm. I love a multi-use beauty product, like an eye/cheek/lipstick. It makes a full face so much easier, plus you only need to bring one product along for touch-ups. And whether you're all about simple mascara and gloss, or you love to play with bold shapes and colors, you gotta have that trusty favorite you turn to for every look. Thrive Cosmetics makes certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free products you can depend on for everything from simple daily wear to show-stopping self-expression. And it's all made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high-performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. And Thrive Cosmetics is beauty that gives back. For every product purchased, they make a donation towards 8 major causes, including social justice organizations and those impacted by cancer and homelessness. It feels good knowing that when I purchase a product, I'm also able to give back to causes that matter to me. And one product I love from Thrive Cosmetics is the Brilliant Eye Brightener. Like I said, I love a product that can have multiple uses, and the Brilliant Eye Brightener is just that. It's an eyeshadow and highlighter stick that's super blendable, and I'm slowly but surely stocking up on the 31 shades that it comes in. Try your new trusty favorites with an exclusive set for our listeners. New customers can get the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara and a mini-sized Brilliant Eye Brightener at a special set price with free shipping available at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. Or save more with 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/thrive for 20% off your first order.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
We're back. Now we have a Don't Blame Them. And Don't Blame Them is when a listener will write in or call in with their own advice pertaining to a particular call, some advice we gave on a different episode. So they might have personal experience, professional experience. They've gone through it before. They just have some insight that maybe we missed. This is the famously when one time someone told us that our straight was showing, and now we reference that all the time. We go, I don't want to make sure my straight's not showing. It adds in another perspective besides just us. So this person is 37, she, her, and they say, I'm writing in about the caller asking how to fill her time at work when she finishes her daily tasks in about 2 hours. I suggest leveraging the tools your company offers. Is there tuition reimbursement or free online learning or trading through the software the company uses? In 2020, my company expanded the tuition program to cover certifications, so I got my PMP while we were in lockdown and then used that to push for promotion and a pay raise. Since then, I've used free time to learn to become an administrator of one of our project management systems and was just promoted again this year. Carve a new career path for yourself or leverage your new skills when you decide to job hunt down the road. Wow, this sounds like a Capricorn. This is impressive. I love this. I only recently learned when Mats was talking about possibly getting his MBA that like there are like jobs you can do the part-time schooling for that and then have to be like reimbursed because it does benefit the company.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I was like, you can go to school, all this job and school all the time. And then he got the big textbooks. I mean, I even think of something that like, it's obviously not the same as like this, but like and this is very not the same. But like when I look on my SAG card online, sometimes it's like, oh, these are like the benefits and deals and things that you have through this that unless you're looking for it, you don't necessarily know. And the same thing can even happen with like your work health insurance. Like sometimes your health insurance will be like, oh, you can also do X, Y, and Z with this or whatever.
You can go work out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning. I'm always learning at I never stop learning.
Oh, she's addicted to learning. I'm kind of allergic.
And it helps me. I'm constantly growing in my career and learning new skills and have a lot of different things in my bag. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to always be learning.
Yeah. And sometimes even like companies have like partnerships with specific like charitable organizations or whatever. And you could on your work time go do a charity thing that they have for a couple hours. That's like, you're still getting paid. It's still part of your work day. Also because like that's the charity initiative that your company works with. Yep. So there's just like a lot of things like that. You just have to know how to find them and know who to ask.
Yeah.
I'm sure HR would like love to have a question about something other than like, why does this person keep reheating tuna in the microwave?
Yep. Thank you for writing in.
Thank you. I do think hot tuna Not for me. I love tuna. I don't love warm tuna.
I've tried doing like a tuna melt and I'm like, this is disgusting.
I like a tuna melt, but
Disgusting.
it has to be, unfortunately, like slightly, like it has to be like slightly melted and the bread has to be like slightly toasted, but kind of cold. So like it's not
actually a melt thing.
No,
You're
it's
just
not
eating
better
it
to like, I'm like, I actually would just prefer toasted bread and tuna.
and cold tuna.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I brought tuna for lunch today.
You always do.
Not always. I don't want to get mercury poisoning. Don't tell them that.
We only record in person once a week, so that would not cause mercury poisoning.
It actually apparently happens a lot, like a
Yeah,
lot quicker than you think.
But it's not eating tuna once a week.
Okay. As a kid, I was allowed to have red meat once a month. Once I started getting my period, I was allowed to have red meat when I had my period once a month. Prior to that, not at all. And tuna, I was allowed to have like once every fucking 3 months because of that. Well, we also know I wasn't allowed to have fluoride, and that's why my teeth were jacked.
Yeah.
The picking and choosing of science is crazy to me.
It is.
And that's how you should know that sometimes you can't trust everybody with a PhD. That doesn't mean that it's in the sect where they should be making those kinds of calls. You know?
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. Watch The 4 Seasons, a new series starring comedy favorites Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, and more in a hilarious and heartfelt love letter to long-term relationships. Based on the original Alan Alda film. Watch The 4 Seasons, streaming now only on Netflix.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel? Or that white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
Surprise special. We also have an update. Do you want to read it?
Sure.
And I feel like this is self-explanatory. I don't think I need to explain to you what an update is.
Hey, Eminem, I wrote in about regretting not moving for college and wanted to send more details. I added this at the bottom of the email I sent. My grad program is law school, so I'll likely be making a decent salary when I graduate. I am committed to a school and turned down Berkeley. I'm single and don't have kids.
Sorry, just turning down Berkeley is kind of crazy.
It is. I'm single and don't have kids, and I don't plan on making career moves based off a partner if I have one, but by graduation, so that's not a factor for me. Good. Also, tourists are known for being practical and grounded, and we prioritize, because I asked, because you were talking about science, and I was like, oh,
yeah, we didn't know what the tourists, how that factored in.
Yeah, practical and grounded, and we prioritize comfort and material stability, LOL. Thank you so much for the advice. My entire family on both sides has lived in the place they live for generations for the most part. So the idea of establishing myself that far away is new to me. And I visited San Diego once and loved it. San Diego and Berkeley are completely different things.
They're so different.
They're so different.
So different.
So I want to say, like,
there couldn't be 2 more different places in California.
So, I mean, there are.
Well, no, I mean, even like, I think like Central California and San Diego have more similarities than like Berkeley.
Yeah, but
and
like,
San Diego.
San Diego and like the OC are different places. And Berkeley and the OC are drastically different.
I'll give you that. I'll give you Berkeley and the OC. I would say San Diego and OC, depending on what part of San Diego, like
they're still different. Though.
No, totally. But I was like, I think that you have kind of got San Diego and Berkeley are like pretty much polar opposites in California.
But Berkeley and OC, it's an even more
that's
further.
I think
so that's why I'm
the
saying like
difference.
There's a bigger difference.
Yeah. So this like I would not base that off of. Is that all they wrote?
No.
Okay.
And I visited San Diego once and loved it, but would probably move to LA or San Francisco if I got a job at a firm right out of school. These are all very different places.
Yeah.
So you do need to go visit them separately so you can get a feel.
Yeah. And you're regretting not going to school in California. I mean,
all those like California, that's the thing, is California is so big.
Yeah.
And it's so different depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You should visit all of those places. Like I visited LA numerous times before I actually moved here, and I worked while doing it.
Yeah. I would also say that, like, you know, if you have ideals of San Diego, specifically law school, like you're making connections tend to be in that area. So like you go to school in Berkeley, you're probably going to make most of your connections in the Bay Area, not so much in LA. Like that's kind of more of like or San Diego, like you're going to have to like utilize the connections you have in the Bay to then utilize their connections to see if you can get something there. But like California is huge. Mm-hmm. There's not like this easy transfer system between places like that. And California is also like, it's really big, but it's not like so big that like everyone has a San Francisco and an LA office.
Right.
Like they'll usually be like, oh, we have like San Francisco, we have Seattle maybe, or we have New York. Like there's just, it's a very totally different vibe. And I think, you know, Berkeley is like totally a great school, but like what was the financial package and all of that kind of stuff? Because you have to like where you are going to school and where you live. I don't know a ton about the cost of living. I know a ton about the cost of living in California, specifically the Bay Area. It's really, 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 really expensive. And so if you got the same student loans from both places, so I think like having regrets about, moving to California, like I didn't pick the school in California, and like your idea of California as San Diego, like I don't think, like you said, like California is so big that I don't think you are missing out on that idea of California. It's a totally different place.
And also you can get internships in college. So try to get internships where you want to be.
And I think like going from where you are across the country to California, like to try and get an internship or whatever, maybe not to that exact same level, is kind of like, is truthfully kind of the same thing as like going from the Bay to LA, trying to make connections there. Like it is not as closely intertwined as you would necessarily think. Like I grew up in the Bay. I know probably like less than 10 people who moved to, probably like 7 people from my entire childhood life who live in Southern California. Mm-hmm. Like that's not a lot. And like there's not, a lot of people didn't go to school in LA. Like it's just, they are very different places. So I don't think that you're like missing out on this like dream that you had of California, because I think Berkeley isn't necessarily where you would have wanted to end up anyway.
Berkeley is its own thing.
No, Berkeley is, I cannot stress, you can't go to San Francisco and Oakland and say, I understand Berkeley. Nope. No. You can't go to Alameda and say you understand Berkeley. Nope. You have to go to Berkeley and see if you understand Berkeley. Berkeley is either like you love it or you're like, I could never go to school here. Like it is so fucking specific. I love Berkeley. I love the city. Loved it my whole life. I don't know. I mean, it was never in the cards for me to go to a school there, but I wouldn't stress about this stuff. And then cost of living, I think in general, is you would have spent, I don't know how much your aid package was if you had any, but the cost of living in Berkeley Berkeley's not big. So like you're also overrun with students, undergrad, postgrad. So like the prices of things are like exponential. Like they're very, very, very costly. And I think your dollar will get you a lot further where you are, especially if that's where your family is. And like you can like go home for dinner and like do all those kinds of things. It sets you up because in general, the advice you give to anybody who wants to move to California is like save as much money as humanly fucking possible before you come here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And I want to say too, my mom was kind of like none of her siblings left the state, and but then she for her first job, like she was the first one to like leave and we moved so much, so like much.
Yeah, she made up for everybody else never moving. She said I'll do it all.
Yeah, so I understand like from my mom's perspective, but she was like, I gotta get out. And like we moved around so much, and my sisters are like, we want to stay, and I'm like, I gotta get out. So like it's okay to be the first one to venture out, and that's fine. So
yeah,
do some internships, see what you actually like, and the internships are what are actually going to give you like the connection. But also like you're in DC too, like close to DC too. Like that's a good place. You're closer to New York. That's a good place. I think you just need to go to different places and figure out what you actually like.
Totally.
Because you're going to have to, wherever you end up, you're going to have to take the bar there. And maybe like most of my friends that are attorneys they can practice in multiple states. Yeah. So, that's a lot of money to spend.
It is, especially early on. And I think
California is notorious for being one of the hardest ones to pass.
Yeah, most people I know who they California, and then they maybe would say New York, but like they don't. They're not clocking all of the states to do it in because it's already so fucking hard and expensive here. But I think like, if you're once you move once, it is a lot easier to move again. Like you realize that it's like not that hard, and like you can just kind of do it at any time. Like you can just like get up and move. And like, yeah, like Melissa said, it is hard being the first person who does that, but there is no time limit on that. And when you were like, I'm not someone who's like gonna like stay for a person or whatever, if you are worried, if you're looking at people who are like popping out babies and all of that, and you're thinking about, well, if I like, what if I get pregnant and I have a kid and like I'm a lawyer, like I need to cover the cost. I'm still in law school. I want my parents to do that. See, I think you're in an area where you have more reproductive rights, but also like if you don't want to settle down, then don't do the things that people are settling down or doing. Like don't seriously date someone. Like do all this. Focus on like, instead of booking vacations for your summers with like like your friends and their families and like their young kids or whatever, focus on getting an internship. Like you are allowed to like take a break from like, you're allowed to divert from that traditional path and timeline of things. Like that is something that I was like the first one that in my like friend circle to do. I'm like, drop out of college. I'm focusing entirely on work. I'm not going on these spring break trips. I'm not going on these vacations. I'm not doing this. Like I'm doing this, and this. And like, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff because like I'm trying to work and trying to get what I can do while this is happening for me. And that's very okay. And then you all kind of end up where you're supposed to end up at a certain point. But like, it doesn't change the fact that like, I know people who've been dating so much longer than Mats and I, and they got engaged after us, or people who are dating way sooner and they've already gotten married since that. Like there's no
timeline.
Yeah, there's zero timeline at all. And just don't let people make you feel like that, or you like, yeah, I wouldn't hold any regret, but definitely visit Berkeley if you're like, see if you want to transfer. And do you like basketball? Because that's a really fucking important question.
Do you like shoes?
If you don't like basketball, you can't go to Berkeley. If you're indifferent about basketball, you can't go to Berkeley. If you're not sure about basketball, but you're open to becoming like a diehard fan who would quite literally drain their veins and put it in an IV to give to the basketball player, you could go to Berkeley. They love basketball. Anyways, that's it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. You can always leave a review for the podcast or a specific episode on Spotify. We'd love to hear from you. And write in, call in for upcoming episodes. Call in, write in for Don't Blame Thems. Give us updates if you have been on a previous episode and more things have unfolded since that came out. We would love to hear from you. And stay tuned for the rest of our shows.
I'm going to read some stuff.
Okay.
From Spotify. Tori Heck said for the episode Upgrading My Friend, where we were talking about dorm beds and lofted beds. They said, I loved my lofted dorm bed. So cozy up there.
That's crazy.
You like living life on the edge, don't you?
Like you must be the most like rock sleeper that you like do not fucking move. Also, you might like caves.
Maybe. And then on a Festing Friday episode, Gloria Rain said, for Spam, there's a low sodium option my family I prefer over the original Spam. It's labeled low sodium 25% Spam. Still can't do it for me.
And
you can probably get it though. You want all the sodium.
I do think I want all the sodium.
Hi. Helena, I've asked for you to let me know the correct pronunciation.
We have a couple of different, and everyone does theirs differently. So that's why we always ask.
The way a small part of my heart broke finding out Melissa's a Cubs fan as a Wisconsinite. still bring me the merch that I asked for from Wisconsin.
Hold up. Does Wisconsin hates the Cubs?
I guess so.
I do find it so funny. These like random sports rivalries. What's Wisconsin's team? I love Wisconsin. You know that if you listen to the show. Wisconsin baseball.
Does Wisconsin have a baseball team? I don't think so either.
Wait, so who do you root for?
Right.
The St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, but that's not in Wisconsin.
No, I know, but like, is it one of those? Is that one of those Ohio things, Kentucky, like where they're so close that they share teams?
Explain yourself. Let me know how to pronounce your name, and let me know why you are anti-Cubs.
Yeah, I would love to know. I think the Cubs have a cute uniform, and if it is the Cardinals, I'm sorry, you are also afflicted the same way that as Giants fans we are, where they said, instead of doing white, what if we just did a really light, dirty-looking gray color? Hate those fucking uniforms. Well, I'm sorry, they called them the Lewis Cardinals. Lewis? First name Lewis.
I've never heard that.
It says Lewis Cardinals. Did they just forget to put Saint in front of it?
I think so.
Hi, I am Lewis. Lewis Cardinal.
Lewis.
Okay, yeah, wait, what are our shows that also come out?
So join us tomorrow for a Fisting Friday, Monday for But Am I Wrong, Tuesday for See You Next Tuesday, Wednesday, listen to your favorite episode, and Thursday we'll be back here for another episode of Don't Blame Me.
Flawless, amazing, wonderful. Can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
In humanity's search for other worlds, we found something unexpected.
It's a massive collection of tiny pocket realities, and each one is a story.
So we can actually transcend our usual 4 dimensions of space and time to go physically into these stories?
Yes, using the Muse Pod.
But when we explored those stories, things didn't go as planned.
Mr. Darcy? That horrid man.
I am Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
None of us have been the same since Beth died.
What happens when classic stories go wrong? I go in to fix them.
Ah, humbug.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
For the love of God, Montresor!
Subscribe and listen to Muse, the latest audio drama from Dayton Writers Movement and Realm.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome.